Are you looking to have the best day ever at Dollywood, but you just don't know where to start? Or maybe you've been to the park before and you're really looking to have a great time again. Well, in this video, I'm going to take you through the ultimate 24-hour journey. In part 1, how to get to Dollywood and where we recommend staying. In part 2, I'm going to share with you how to do all of the main rides at Dollywood in just one day. And in part 3, we're going to go through some of my favorite food as well as some of the best shows on property and how you can dominate Dollywood in just 24 hours. So if you're someone who's visiting Dollywood for the very first time or planning your next trip, I think you're going to really love this video. Now, let's get started. To start your journey to Dollywood, we recommend flying into McGee-Tyson Airport located in Knoxville. Now, this is a smaller airport and you may need to connect from other major airports to get here, but the reason why you'd fly into this smaller airport is because Dollywood is approximately only a 1-hour drive. Now, we just rented a car and we were on our way. It was a very easy process, and to me, for most of you, this is probably going to be the easiest way to get to Dollywood. Now, since Dollywood is in the heart of the Smoky Mountains, you may need to stay for a few days and nights, and we recommend either staying at the HeartSong Lodge Hotel or the Dreammore Hotel. Now, these are both Dollywood branded hotels, so they give you some special perks and benefits, which I'm going to share with you in just a minute. But one of the biggest reasons to stay at these hotels is the convenience to the theme park. It's only a 5 or 10 minute drive away. It's literally right in the backyard, and that is really convenient. Also, they have a trolley shuttle service for hotel guests. This will literally drop you off and pick you up right at the theme park and right back at your hotel. You do not have to pay for parking, and they have shuttles running all of the time. This was insanely convenient and something that we definitely utilize. Now, the hotel rooms themselves are also very nice. The HeartSong Lodge is a newer hotel itself. It's also a little bit more expensive. We ended up paying right around $400 a night. But that being said, it does come with a list of benefits, and they also have a very nice breakfast buffet. It's only about $25 per person in the morning. They also have some very nice food options right on site. Nothing out of this world good, but very tasty nonetheless. You can also even order their famous cinnamon bread right to your room at these hotels. And these hotels are inspired by Dolly Parton's love for the Great Smoky Mountains. It really feels like you're in the Smoky Mountains because you, well, basically are. And also, the resort has over 302 different rooms, including suites with balconies, many overlooking the scenic surroundings. They also have some Dolly Parton memorabilia, including her guitars and some other really cool things. So if you are a family, this is a great place to stay. They have a pool, they have a hot tub, they have a lot of other amenities, both indoor and outdoor, for you to enjoy. And also, Dreammore and HeartSong are right next to each other. You can literally walk or take a 1 to 2 minute car ride, but again, very conveniently located. And as a pro tip, by staying at these hotels, you will also receive time saver wristband. They also have a place for you to pick up your tickets to Dollywood right on site, which again was very convenient. Now, for each person, a time saver wristband can cost between $60 to $100 depending upon the one that you buy. And the one that is included is the basic time saver and time saver plus. And as a pro tip, you're going to want to get to the park as soon as it opens. And the reason for this is because with your time saver, this is when you're able to ride some of the most popular attractions in Big Bear Mountain as well as Lightning Rod, unlimited times in the time saver line, which was virtually a walk-on for us in the very beginning of the day. Now, this will only last for the very first hour. So for us, the park opened at 10 o'clock and we were able to ride Lightning Rod, Big Bear Mountain as many times as we wanted to within that very first hour. And there was very few people that were actually utilizing this, making it very easy to go on. In fact, we went on Big Bear Mountain 2 times in a row. We also went on Lightning Rod 2 times in a row, and we were able to go right on Dragonflyer, which can definitely be a longer wait. We did all of this, literally 5 rides within the very first hour of the day. So this is something to plan for and a pro tip to absolutely know if you plan on staying at one of these hotels and utilizing their time saver options. In fact, we were able to ride everything that we wanted to within the first 24 hours. So let me share with you exactly how I was able to get on all of the rides in just 24 hours. That's right, one day at Dollywood. Now, we did end up rope dropping right away in the beginning of the day. That's right, we were literally on the trolley at 9 a.m. That's the very first trolley time. We were dropped off at the park right around 9:15, 9:20. ended up getting into the park at 9:30 and were able to ride our very first ride at 10 o'clock on the nose. So again, even though the park says that it opens at 10 in the morning, you can actually enter the park a little bit earlier and really be one of the first ones to start riding right as the day starts. And again, this was very important to know because we were able to ride a bunch of the rides that we wanted to without waiting in line. Now, when it came to some of the other eligible attractions, we ended up riding Fire Chaser Express 3 times, and it was because we were able to use our limited entry and waited no more than 10 minutes in line. We also were able to ride Mystery Mine within a matter of 10 minutes and Wild Eagle right in the front row within a matter of 15 minutes as well with the Time Saver Pass. We literally throughout the entire day didn't wait more than 10 to 15 minutes for every single ride, which was amazing. Now, I'm highlighting these rides because these are the most popular attractions right now at Dollywood, but the other roller coasters like Tennessee Tornado and Thunderhead give you eligible attraction entries, as well as the Smoky Mountain River Rampage, the Waltzing Swinger, Drop Line, and even show reservations, which is incredibly helpful to be able to navigate the day. Like I said, we were able to ride every single ride within 24 hours, and having the Time Saver Pass for us was certainly worth it, especially since it was free because we were staying at the HeartSong Lawn. Now, we also ended up going on a Tuesday, which was a lighter day in the crowds here during the summertime. The park was open from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. But I can imagine on weekends having the Time Saver Pass to be something that is almost a necessity, especially if you want to dominate the day at Dollywood. And the fact that with Time Saver rides, you're able to do the Barnstormer, Dizzy Disc, Dragonflyer, Drop Line, Fire Chaser Express, Lightning Rod, Mystery Mine, Sky Rider, Smoky Mountain River Rampage, Tennessee Tornado, Thunderhead, the Waltzing Swinger, and Wild Eagles. While there is quite a lineup here, if you want to get it all done in a day, I believe this is going to be a necessity for you to do so. Now, our favorite ride by far was Big Bear Mountain. This is their newest attraction, and it is incredibly smooth. They have 3 different launches and is also very family friendly. It does not even go upside down, but it does go quite fast multiple times. Next, I would say my second favorite ride had to be Lightning Rod. This one was definitely a little more intense, but it was really fun to be literally on the hills of the Smoky Mountains up and down the ride. This one definitely moves you fast and has a zip to it, and I've heard that this ride can go down multiple times a day just due to maintenance, so this is one to definitely hit early on in the morning. After that, my third favorite ride had to be the Fire Chaser Express. This was a really fun ride with multiple launch points and also pretty easy overall. It doesn't go upside down and just a generally family-friendly ride. Next, I also enjoyed Mystery Mine, but this one definitely shakes you up a little bit, goes upside down a few times, and is definitely more intense. That being said, it's also really fun themed and certainly one not to miss out on. We also did the Wild Eagle. This one was really fun, but a short ride as well, and while it does go upside down a few times, it was somewhat intense, so definitely something to note. I'd also say Tennessee Tornado with their big gigantic loop in the beginning also can be a little bit intense for new riders. Thunderhead being a wooden roller coaster also could shake you up a little bit, but genuinely is pretty easy on most. Now, another ride not to miss out on is one called Blazing Fury. This is more of a dark ride, but also has some roller coaster type elements. It's pretty easy overall, but it does move you around a little bit, and it is very dark. Also, this was probably the longest that we waited for any ride throughout the day. They did not seem to have a time saver option. We ended up waiting about 20 minutes for this ride, and this is one that can move a little bit slower just because of the loading and unloading process. So one that you're definitely going to want to check out and plan for. This is one of our favorite rides of the day as well. So here was our exact ride itinerary, when we were able to ride and in what order. We first started the day off at Big Bear Mountain. We knocked this out twice in a row with our time saver bands, and again, this was a great way to start the day. From there, we went right over to Dragonflyer. It's right next to Big Bear Mountain, and this ride can definitely get longer in the day, so it's one that if you're in the park early and going to Big Bear, you might as well do it because it's right there. And Big Bear and Dragonflyer are kind of tucked away in the back of the park, so it's definitely two that you can do in sync. After that, we went straight to Lightning Rod. The reason why is because we wanted to make sure that we got on this ride in case it ended up going down later on in the day. Now, after Lightning Rod, it was right to Blazing Fury, and then we went to Fire Chaser, Wild Eagle, and then Mystery Mine. From there, it's really up to you whether you'd like to do Tennessee Tornado as well as Thunderhead and the rest of the lineup and in what order. But what I just shared with you are the main rides that you're definitely not going to want to miss if you are a roller coaster fan here at Dollywood. And I wish I would have had somebody tell me what some of these rides were when we got there. Now, fortunately, we were able to figure it out kind of on the fly, but I believe if you follow this script, you can knock out all of these rides and then some within 24 hours, aka just one day staying at Dollywood. Now, let's get into some pro tips, part 3 of food and entertainment. You're probably going to be hungry when you're at the theme parks. Let me give you the best food that we had, some of the must-eat things, and some of the things that I really personally enjoyed. And I know a lot of people also recommended these. Now, if I missed anything, please also let me know down below in the comments. Now, going from the worst things that I had to the best, the thing that I did not like the most, but was somewhat flavorful still, was the Potato Tornado. Now, this is at the Summer Celebration booth. Now, this looked way cooler than it actually tasted. It didn't have a lot of flavor, like I said, just kind of salty. Now, they do have a loaded version, one of these, with a bunch of different ingredients on it, which might be better. But for me, this was only a 5.5 out of 10. Next, we had the Chicken Pot Pie at Granny Olga's Ham and Beans. Now, this is a sit-down restaurant, but it also moves pretty quickly, and they have a variety of other options on the menu, but the chicken pot pie for the money was a pretty decent portion, but it wasn't anything special. It's about what you would expect from a chicken pot pie. It was, like I said, a very nice portion. I give this a 7.7 out of 10. Now, one of our favorite restaurants was at Front Porch Cafe. This is where we ended up having dinner. We had a Caesar salad, and for a theme park, this is also very flavorful, and I also really enjoyed their fried cauliflower. This was very good for theme park food and at a decent price point as well. I really liked the aioli sauce. Now, my girlfriend ended up having the country fried steak from Front Porch Cafe as well. Now, this was a massive portion. The gravy was thick and salty, very, very good. Something that I'd recommend. Definitely check out the Front Porch Cafe. Now, they also have buffet-style dining at Aunt Granny's restaurant, which has an all-you-can-eat menu. You're talking Smoky Mountain starters in a variety of different things, like a creamy mac and cheese, their pinto beans, mashed potatoes. They also have some very nice greens, which is Granny's garden salad with iceberg lettuce and much more. They also have some classics like fried chicken, baked chicken, sausage, peppers, and onions, pot roast, as well as southern fried catfish. They also have some very nice sweets in their banana pudding, as well as their fresh baked chocolate chip cookies and seasonal peach cobbler. Again, all of these things for the money to me. While we didn't end up trying it, I wish we would have went here instead to Aunt Granny's restaurant. It's been named by USA Today as one of the top 10 best theme park restaurants in the country. And if I were to go back, Aunt Granny's puts out a very nice buffet style, and all meals are also served family style. Coca-Cola, fountain beverages, and coffee are included. So for the money, definitely something to take a look at, potentially stopping at Aunt Granny's restaurant. Now, another item I unfortunately was not able to try but did see was at Sweets and Treats. This is the bear ice cream cone. This looked amazing. They actually ran out of these. So they were so popular that by the time that we tried to have one in the afternoon, they ran out. So if this is something that you really want to try, I'd recommend definitely trying it in the beginning of the day. And last but certainly not least has to be the Grist Mill famous cinnamon bread. This was warm, light, airy, super pillowy and fluffy, perfect amount of cinnamon to sugar ratio, and you have to try this with their classic icing as well as trying the apple butter. Now, we enjoyed the icing much better, but some of you may like the apple butter, and it's just a very unique thing to try. Also, multiple people can eat out of one cinnamon bread. It is quite a portion, so definitely if you go to Dollywood, don't leave without trying the cinnamon bread. This is a staple and something that they make fresh right there on site, and I believe getting it at the grist mill is definitely the way to go. Now, you can get it at multiple other locations throughout the park as well, but right there, there's something special about it. Definitely worth the little adventure over to the grist mill, and it gives you a very nice experience. Now, after you've ridden all the rides, you've tasted all of the food, there's a few other things that I highly recommend doing if you can in your 24 hours at Dollywood, and that is going on their train. Now, what's really unique about this train is that there is just one stop. It does a full loop and even goes somewhat into the Smoky Mountains, and this is something that you're going to want to plan for because it only does the one stop. You may actually have to wait in line for it. And another pro tip here with the train is if you don't want to have soot kicked back on you, that's right, literal soot from the train itself, you may want to sit more towards the inside of the train or towards the back of the train. When we were riding, even in the middle of the train, a little bit of black soot was able to fly off and actually get onto some of our clothes. So yes, this can happen, and it has happened to others, so just actually know that. But this is such a fun experience. The fact that you can ride on the train through the Smoky Mountains is just a very unique thing to Dollywood, and it's something not to miss out on. Also, depending upon when you go, they have different shows during different times of the year. Now, since we went in the summer, they had a firework and drone show, which started at 9:40 on the dot at night. Right by the Big Bear roller coaster is where they actually start preparing and doing a fun little dance and DJ show and light show, and then the drone and fireworks show, as I said, starts at 9:40. Now, depending upon, like I said, when you go during the time of the season, there may be different options, but in the summertime, this was definitely something worth waiting for and going to because the fireworks were very, very cool. It was really fun to see them in the Smoky Mountains, and the drone show was impressive. It's the first time I ever saw a drone show. It was synced to the music of the DJ and was just really cool to see. We had an absolutely perfect night, and when everything was done right at 10 o'clock, you were able to simply walk down, go on the trolley, and it would take you right back to the hotel, giving you the perfect 24 hours at Dollywood. Now, another thing that we really enjoyed at the theme park was going to multiple different shows. We ended up going to 3 different shows, and these are the shows that we would recommend going to. First was the Bubble Show. This was a show where they blew a bunch of bubbles live, and it was in a theater, enclosed, air conditioned. Now, these bubble artists are professionals, and I don't know if the bubble show is going to be there forever, but it was definitely a fun show to go to. It was right around 40 to 45 minutes, and again, a great way to cool off in the afternoon. Now, the other show that we really enjoyed going to was Heidi Parton's show, where she does about a half-hour singing, and if you do not know who Heidi Parton is, she is Dolly Parton's niece. So it was really fun to actually listen to her sing. They sung a bunch of different songs. There was multiple other singers on stage. Great show, very interactive, and definitely one that was incredibly authentic to Dollywood and something you're not going to want to miss. Now, another show that was actually closed when we were there, but something you're not going to want to miss out on seeing is the Bald Eagles and the Bird Show. Now, this does not run on Tuesdays, but every other day of the week they have this show, and we've heard nothing but really good things. Now, it's really cool to see the Bald Eagles. You can see them any day that you want to. These are really something to experience and see with your own 2 eyes. The amount of bald eagles that you're able to see, as well as being able to see them up close, certainly super cool and definitely something that you're not going to want to miss at Dollywood. I don't know where else you can see bald eagles like this. Even at zoos is more difficult, especially with the amount that they have at the theme park here. So again, something that you're not going to want to miss out on, and something that you're definitely going to want to see at Dollywood. Now, last but not least, we also ended up seeing the HeartSong show that Dolly Parton does. This was just a theater type show. It's only right around 20 minutes. You just watch a movie about Dolly Parton and you get to know her more and her backstory about how she grew up in the Smoky Mountains. I did not get much footage of this at all, so it's something that you're going to have to experience for yourself, but it's just a quick 20-minute show. Nothing out of the ordinary, nothing crazy, but certainly something to see. This is because one of my favorite things about Dollywood is how authentic it was to Dolly, as well as how you just felt the connection in the park to her as well. There's even a theater with a giant butterfly and multiple other museums in the section of the park which is known as the Dolly Experience. That was really cool to walk through these museums and see some of the Dolly Parton memorabilia, as well as a place for you to actually buy some Dolly Parton souvenirs. So if this is something that you're looking for, definitely don't miss out on this. There was a model of her tour bus and a lot of other things right in this area, and I know a lot of people get the Dolly Parton butterfly picture for their Instagram. So again, certainly something not to miss out on, and something that we really enjoyed. And again, the whole theme park being themed around Dolly was so authentic to the park. It really made for an enjoyable experience. So if you like country music, you like Dolly Parton at all, this theme park is going to blow you away. So to recap our video, Dollywood in part 1, we shared with you exactly how to arrive and what is the best lodging for the park in our opinion. In part 2, we got into all of the rides and how to dominate the day and basically get on every single ride that you can imagine. And in part 3 here, we went through food and entertainment, the must-eat as well as must-see shows here at Dollywood at this time. So make sure to keep coming back to the channel for more updates. Also, if you did find this video to be helpful, we greatly appreciate it if you simply smashed up the like button down below and followed for more, because it's free. So why not? We do a lot of travel content here almost on an everyday basis. New videos, short form, long form. Thanks again for all of your support. We'll see you in our next videos coming up. Stay tuned.